Hey everybody, welcome to Yetibot Talk and Play, where we talk but don't play, just yet, one day. And today we're actually going to be talking about Star Wars, and I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to let Jordan take it away.
Alright, so around here at Yeti and Bot, we like to keep things positive. But there's been a rumor that Doomcock has put up on his channel, and we want to talk about it. And it's Star Wars related, which is something Caleb and I both love. So, anyway, the rumor goes like this. Boba Fett is supposed to show up in The Mandalorian. And I'm going to get part of this wrong, so bear with me. Honestly, if you want to look this up, go look it up on Overlord DVD. That's Doomcock's channel. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else other than him has talked about this, but this is where I heard it. So he was talking about Boba Fett showing up in The Mandalorian, season 2 or 3, I'm not sure which. But basically he's going to be around and be a presence, and then at the end of it, he's going to take off his helmet, and it'll be Sabine Wren. So, Caleb and I wanted to talk about this because, you know, people always want to look at these kinds of things as in the negative way. So, I just wanted to bring up a few things, and in no way am I a shill for Star Wars. I just want to see good Star Wars. That's like my main goal. We were going to sit down and talk about, you know, what we liked about Disney Star Wars rather than what we dislike, because, you know, a lot of people have given those opinions. And we could do it too, but that's just not what we try to do on this channel. So instead, we thought we would talk about this, because we got sidetracked talking about this before we started recording. So I guess here were the thoughts. Caleb, if you want to start with, because it seemed like we were pretty much on the same page before we were recording. But go ahead, you tell what we were thinking in our heads when we heard this.
Right. Well, first to point out, if you don't know who Sabine Wren is, she's from the Star Wars Rebels show that came out, like I think it was a year before The Force Awakens came out. But anyway, so Sabine Wren is just she's a Mandalorian, and we can discuss more about her. When I first heard that that was the case, honestly, I didn't mention this to Jordan, but what I honestly just kind of was weirded out. I honestly actually was starting to laugh a little bit, because I was like, nah, that sounds more funny than anything. It didn't sound like it was the case, but pretty much he and I came to the conclusion that it just would be weird to do that, not for the politics of the situation, like what Doomcock was saying, was that she was doing it as revenge against the evil Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. But no, I'd say it's weird to do that for story, because, for example, if you were to bring Boba Fett in, and coming from somebody who has never read a Boba Fett comic, I've never seen him outside of the Clone Wars and the original trilogy of movies, and then him as a kid in the in the prequel trilogy. But because we got still so little of him as the man bounty hunter, it would be exciting to see him in The Mandalorian as older, but still give him more action, more to do, something that would be exciting. And I feel like it would be not only insulting to the character because of who we know and what we want more of, but we as fans, we want to see more of this cool character that we know little about. And it would be almost insulting to just be like, nope, nope, he's dead. You're gonna see this random character that has nothing to do with him. But then to also mess with Sabine Wren, where she has always been someone who's very individual. She likes to be unique. She is an individual.
She's an individual.
She likes to be unique, and she paints her own armor. She likes to paint ships just because of art. And to make her just up and decide, like she just finds Boba Fett, apparently, this is what Doomcock said, I think, I'm taking for a grain of salt, I can't remember exactly, where she finds him dead or something like that, and she takes his armor and decides to prance around as Boba Fett. Again, that not only is that insulting to Boba Fett as a character, but that's insulting to her as a character.
Yeah, honestly, that's what bothers me more, is what it does to her, because she's always been an individual, and I can't see her wearing that armor when she's stylizing her armor all the time. You know, that's mostly what bothers me.
Yeah, it would have been interesting, is especially because she's definitely older at that point of the Mandalorian show.
Yeah, she'd probably be in her, I guess, early 30s or late 20s, maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But also she's someone special in Mandalore. It would be actually funny if you have her in the Mandalorian, and have her like kind of show some great distaste towards Boba Fett. That's another thing, because Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian. He stole, like, I think his dad, correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, I think his dad pretty much stole the armor and the fighting techniques, but neither him or his dad, or technically original clone, are actual Mandalorians. So it's like insulting for him to be prancing around in Mando armor, and he's...
Well, Django, now granted, this has been a while since I've run into this stuff, but I think Django is a Mandalorian, but he doesn't really follow the codes.
Right.
But yeah, Boba's just a clone of Django. That we know for sure because of the movies and everything. So he's not a true Mandalorian. And I think it is kind of insulting to Sabine as a character to put her in Boba's armor. I mean, come on, she deserves better than that. Like, she was interesting. You know, Doomcock came at it with the thought that it's like identity politics. And look, I don't want to get into all that crap because everybody's got an opinion, and I don't necessarily think anybody has a wrong or a right opinion. You know, Star Wars was meant to be for the fans, and you know, the whole identity politics thing is just, it's enraging from either side. But so
it's like politics in general. It's enraging on either side.
Yeah, it kind of is, right? But anyway, so looking at it all from that perspective, I could see why you'd be upset. But I think if you look at it just as a fan's perspective, I think it's kind of awful to both characters. You know, I think both characters deserve better than that. So kind of, here's what I was thinking in my head, because it's really easy to get frustrated when you just hear that. I was kind of thinking in my head, what if there's a lot more context to it? So what if Sabine does show up and she's wearing Boba Fett's armor? I'll tell you how I could get over that. What if they do some story where they show that Sabine and Boba actually had a connection some way in the past? And she's wearing the armor now to kind of hide what she's doing. Because, I don't want to get into spoilers for Star Wars Rebels, but there's a reason she could want to hide her identity. If she's like looking for information and stuff.
Yeah, I was just honestly, I cannot remember why she would need to hide her identity. I really can't, but that's okay. It makes it even easier for it to not be spoiled.
There's no real reason why she would want to hide her identity, but she could want to hide her identity to get info. So, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking, if there's more to the story, then maybe it's not so bad. But I want to see those two characters be separate. I do think if they did flashbacks between Sabine and Boba, that could make it better.
Yeah, like I think that would actually be kind of cool. This might be where you're going, but I think it would be kind of cool if there was like a reluctant team up or something like that. Kind of like with Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Now my question...
Go
ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't... Because of the the scene where Boba Fett in the Clone Wars, where Boba Fett kills Cad Bane, is no longer canon because that wasn't even finished and published. It's not a thing. I just want Cad. I would love to see if Cad Bane could be in The Mandalorian, because that guy was pretty darn awesome.
Oh, I'd be totally down with that. I would love that.
I just don't know how they'd pull it off because he's like inhumanly thin. But hey, CG is great these days.
Yeah. Well, so that brings up an interesting thing too that I wanted to ask you. So Rosario Dawson is rumored to be playing Ahsoka, right?
Yeah, I don't. Do you know of anything she's in? Because that name just doesn't ring a bell to me.
Oh yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff. She's an excellent actress. It's gonna be super weird though not to hear Ashley Eckstein's voice for Ahsoka, but Rosario Dawson, regardless of who she's playing in Mandalorian Season 2, that was a really good hiring. She was in Sin City, both Sin City movies.
Sincerely.
So my question is, since you don't necessarily have to see Sabine's face for a good portion of it, do you want to see them get the voice actress from Rebels? Or would you rather they just hired somebody new?
You know, that's actually a very interesting question, because I don't know if the answer's been brought up, and it's something that I've seen some people pick on a little, like, here and there, and that's the how the Mandalorian, the character has said, like, you never remove your mask, or not your mask, your helmet. So then, could that be a new excuse for us to just have a good body actress for Sabine, but then use the voice actress from the show? That could work. Or are they gonna do something else? Because it's still something that's a little weird. We don't fully know where that rule came from, but yet it was approved. Like, Dave Filoni he's working with the Mandalorian show with Jon Favreau, and he's the guy he's the creator of the Clone Wars and Rebels. So I don't know if there's like a new rule that maybe has been in place since the Rebels show, because they have their helmets off all the time.
George Lucas actually helped behind the scenes too, so I don't know if they got it from him, or doesn't really matter where they got it from. Point is, yes, that is a rule that they've established in the show. So
if they want to stick with that rule with her, then that would be a good excuse to just use the voice actress with a good body actress.
Yeah.
They did that with Quail. Or Queel? Yeah, Queel. They did that with Queel.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Nick Nolte obviously wasn't playing that character, just voicing it. But yeah, no, I think it'd be interesting to see. I'm going to botch her name. It's Tiya Sikaar, I think is what it is. Anyway, either way, I think it'd be cool if they brought her in at least to voice the character, if nothing more, now that they've established that whole helmet on thing. But it also could just be the faction of Mandalorians he's with that does that. Who knows?
Exactly what I was thinking. Because there's different clans and stuff, but
yeah, but we don't even know if clans exist after the Empire destroyed them. We don't know anything, really.
Yeah, true. Yeah, well, I think we'll just have to see. Honestly, this is the rumor that actually sounds fake. It seems a little too far out there for it to actually be something that will actually happen. As I said before, I thought it was kind of funny. I laughed at it as if it was a joke, because I'm like, that just sounds ridiculous. Like, again, going back to what you and I were saying, it would be an insult to not only Boba Fett, but especially an insult to Sabine. But then also, it just sounds silly, considering that the rumor is that Kathleen Kennedy just being like, well, if you guys are gonna do that, I'll do this. It sounds so immature and petty that I'm like, no. I'm like, look, I don't like a lot of the things that has happened in Star Wars, but that sounds way more heady than I expect Kathleen Kennedy to be. I expect her to be far more mature than that. So I don't think this will actually happen. Sabine Wren in the show, maybe, but in that sense, no.
Well, like the whole concept of her coming up with it herself, I can see why people would believe. But me personally, I just feel like, I don't know. She's had such a Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, has had such a great career. I can't imagine she would continually go behind the scenes like they're saying and botch her chances with continuing to run Lucasfilm. That's the part that, like, I don't know why she would come behind the scenes and do this and invalidate Sabine Wren's character a bit if she really is trying to get, like, more women in Star Wars. I don't know. It just, like you said, it just seems kind of strange. I'm not saying, Doomcock said take it all with a grain of salt, so it's not like he's even saying, oh, no, this is a real thing.
What I liked about his video is that he was laughing a lot of it, which helped me kind of see that he probably also sees this as possibly a joke too. Well, not an actual joke, but on the level of a joke, pretty much. That it's like that's just silly nonsense, pretty much. But we'll just have to see. All I know is that The Mandalorian is a great show, and I would not be surprised if it continues to be a great show, and if we actually continue to get more good Star Wars media in the future.
Yeah, I think we will. I mean, there were some good things that have come out of Star Wars since Disney's bought it. I'm certainly not one of those people who says Disney buying Star Wars wrecked the franchise. I don't think that. But I do think there's room for improvement. There's been a lot of growing pains, and I think they could improve on the formula with Star Wars. That's what I would say. But I'd rather not get too much further into that, other than to say that. I think that there's improvement that could be made. But we'll have to wait and see. It's an interesting thing to think on. You have anything else to add?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. As I wanted to just leave on a positive note that I think that we're going in a good direction for Star Wars right now, and I'm excited to see the new stuff of Mandalorian. And it's bad, I still haven't finished season 7 of Clone Wars, but from what it sounds like, I really should. So I'm probably gonna have to bite the bullet and make my own subscription to Disney Plus, because I would love to see the final season of Clone Wars, and hopefully that'll also branch off with other stuff. Like there's talk of a Rebels sequel out there and other cool things. So I'm in general very excited when it comes to a lot of this future coming Star Wars media.
Yeah, same.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, with that, we are done for this week. Next week, we're going to talk more about World of Warcraft. We thought it'd be great to have a bit more of a break, so we don't have 2 videos of Warcraft back to back. And I'm excited to talk with you guys about it.
Yep.
Anything you would like to say there, Jordan,
Nope.
to send us off?
We'll see you next time. Keep positive.
Keep positive. Bye.